Adversity, bring it. The struggle, we welcome it. Snooze on life, never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze podcast. Come on. Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast, episode 148. As always, I'm in the booth with the big three. Michael, the show Pirelli, Claudio, the voice, Valenzuela, and I am Dave, the body, Regina. We are set up much differently today because we have a very special guest. So today we are four in the booth, and we will formally introduce Chordale, the gift Booker. My brother, welcome to the No Snooze Podcast, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
I put Dave in between us just in case you jump over and you want to start a little bit of a scuffle here.
Yes. Before we get started, though, Chordale is a professional boxer. He is the current WBC, U.S. Super Welterweight Champion. He is top 25 Super Welterweight in the U.S., a top 70 Super Welterweight in the world. 2016 award-winning documentary called The Boxer. 2016 Olympic boxing trials. 2015 Golden Gloves champion. Chordale, this is a long
Jesus
list here.
Christ. Yeah.
2015 Sugar Ray Robinson Most Outstanding Boxer, and the 2015 Connecticut Boxing Hall of Fame Amateur Boxer of the Year. How does that feel when you hear all of that about yourself? Because I'm hyped. I don't know about you.
I was gonna say I would recite that to myself every morning.
I'm hyped, man. How does that feel?
It's a good feeling. I mean, I put in a lot of work to get those titles. To be real with you, I have more, but I keep those ones because those are the most important. Like ones. There was a lot of tournaments that I fought that I won because I didn't want anybody else in the United States to say they won.
I got you.
I saw that clip. You were saying a lot of people were saying that they could beat you, so that's why you fought so much, right? Because you were touring, and you're like, I'm not letting anyone else win.
It bothered me when I heard somebody else won the tournament and I was close enough to be there.
Yeah.
Or it was kind of like a national event and I didn't go, and then they won, because then it felt like, all right, well,
you just won because I wasn't there.
Yeah, I'm number one.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I won everything.
Yeah, of course. Before you obviously received all these accolades, I'm sure things looked a lot differently coming up. So give us a backstory of kind of where you grew up, family dynamic, and then how you eventually got into boxing.
I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible.
Yeah, but tell your story, man. This is about you. The people get to hear about us all the time, and they're not really too interested in us anymore.
I don't have a very interesting story. I'll be honest.
So tell your story, my man.
So I was born in Stanford, but I was living in Bridgeport and commuting back and forth until I was about 11. I was living in Bridgeport, then I would come to the village where my grandmother and my dad lived. So I was commuting back and forth for a long time. I was going to Roxbury Elementary School.
So you were living in Bridgeport, which, just for context, if you're not in Connecticut, is approximately, 45 minutes to an hour away?
Nah, probably like
30?
30. It'd probably take like 40 because
But you were doing
traffic.
that daily, though?
Every day.
To go to school out here in Stanford?
Yeah, because the school system there was it was worse. But I was coming to the village, which was not too much better.
Yep.
But at least I got to go to school in Stanford. And like when I think about coming out of the village, I'm like, wow, like the rest of Stanford was so different than living in the village. And fast forward to me being an adult, I was always getting into fights as a kid. Growing up, I always fought. So I said, you know what, let me start trying to get into boxing. I went to a kickboxing gym in, I think, 10th grade. Didn't like the kicking thing. So I just tried to figure out where's boxing. Then boxing came, Ahmad started a gym. I always was hearing about it, but didn't think, too much of it because the people that were going there weren't actually, I think they were soft.
They weren't real boxers.
So if you box there, then I just thought they were so. I should have just went though.
Yep.
So after high school, I started going to the gym. I met Ahmad, who's the owner, who became my coach, my only coach. And we're here today. When I say I was always fighting, though, always.
Yeah, talk to us about
Did you fight southpaw before you started boxing?
Actually, I did because
Naturally.
when I used to read books. I can't remember the name of this book. I read it in middle school, and the kid, he was from New York in the book.
Yeah.
And he it's so funny. I can't remember the name of it, but he was a southpaw too. And then so I started looking up like what a southpaw is, and I realized it was a lefty.
Yeah.
And so I started watching southpaw boxers then. And I knew always keep the right hand in front.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And is Rocky a southpaw? I don't even remember.
I don't think he was.
He was conventional? Because you're a
But
Rocky fan. He's
I
not this guy's
I didn't
not
watch
a
a
movie
ton
guy.
of.
Rocky
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
I don't think.
It was regular?
Yeah.
I was just curious because I remember you said, but anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So before, here we go. This is part of our ADHD that we bring to you. So before you, I guess, become, the boxer that you were, and you found that passion, something happened to you, and there was a significant moment in your life to where an unexpected individual, basically cut you some slack. Right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, he's really what pushed me to go right into boxing, because I still was like in the street, and once I got arrested, I said, all right.
What'd you get arrested for? What happened?
I had gun charge, narcotics charge, just being outside with friends.
And how old
in
were
my
you at that
neighborhood.
time?
I was 18,
Gotcha.
turning 19. So I was outside with my friends, and I just, we were in a big group, but I'm really the only one who we all got arrested, but I got charged. And I just knew that I had to make a change. I didn't want that for my life. I was facing a mandatory of 13 years.
Wow.
So I said, all right, I'm done. I made it, and I made it clear, like, I'm done with this.
Now is that a hard thing to do? And I'm speaking now from a this is a piece of professional work that I'm involved in too, preventing gun violence, and a lot of what we see is that individuals in certain locations, they actually carry guns to feel protected, right? So individuals are, there's a lot of fights in their neighborhood. They have access. Maybe they have an uncle, they have a cousin, to where they're, in possession of a gun and not really knowing what to do with it. God forbid something were to really go down. And you see that a lot these days. So I'm just curious though, at that moment when you get pinched and you get locked up, this judge does what for you? So you were facing a mandatory of 13 years, and what did he end up doing for you?
So I started going to the gym because I needed to separate myself from everybody.
How did you go to take us back?
So
once you got locked up.
Yeah, once I got locked up, I was in it for 2 days. My mom came, got me out. She kicked me out the house. So I went to go stay with my boy. I really want to be with him either, because I'm like, well, you my man's, but
Right,
you still. I made it clear, like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna just leave. I'm gonna go to my grandmother's house. Went to my grandma's house, stayed there for about, I want to say, like a month and a half.
This is after the sentence?
No. This is I'm
Waiting.
fighting the case.
Got it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, my mom bailed me out.
Gotcha.
My mom bailed me out,
Understood.
kicked me out of the house.
Wow.
I went to go sleep at my boy's house. I stayed there for like 2-3
You
days.
should have called Mike, man.
Yeah, call me out. I don't even know where I was at that time.
I stayed there for like 2-3 days, but he's one of the people I was around, and I'm like, I can't do this. I don't want to be around anybody who has anything to do with being in that life. I just want to be an athlete. I want to set goals for myself. I want to be a businessman. I'm like, yo, I go to my grandmother's house, start going to the boxing gym immediately. I tell Ahmad maybe like a month in what I'm going through, because he'll be like, yo, why you here so long?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't got nowhere to go. If I'm not here, I don't want to be with my friends. So it's either I'm here, I go to work, or I go to my grandma's house. That's it. And I lived that for like a straight year.
While everything is pending.
The whole time this is going on.
That's tough.
Golden Gloves. I go to the Golden Gloves, the first Golden Gloves I won. It was the first time I went to the Golden Gloves in Connecticut. And my mom came. My mom came to the fight. She didn't believe I could win. She thought I was just like doing this like a joke.
Yeah.
And so she came. It was the fight before I was gonna make it to the semifinal. She comes. I told Ahmad, I'm like, yo, my mom here. I'm gonna kill this dude.
I'm getting that.
Like, he done.
Yeah.
So I beat him up bad. He bloody. I go to the bathroom to like wash my hands, wash my face off. And Judge White is in the bathroom.
Wow.
I don't realize that he was judging the fights either, because you're not looking at the side of the ring when you're fighting.
Yeah.
So I'm in there. I'm like, oh, Judge White. And he looks at me. He doesn't remember me. I'm like, you know who I am? Booker. He said, oh. And he just walked out. I'm like, oh
no.
man. That probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, because I'm still fighting the case. But when I look back, it probably showed him how much I really changed. I really wasn't hanging out with these people, because you know how much time it takes to be on the top of the game as an athlete or in the Golden Gloves boxing. You have to go to the gym.
Yeah.
You got to go rest. You got to work. And that's really all you can do.
Can't have hobbies.
I mean, you can have hobbies.
A couple hobbies.
You can't waste time.
Yeah.
You have to have a real discipline if you want to be at the top of your game.
So you weren't taking boxing serious until that happened. Then
I
you went
never
right
boxed.
to you never boxed for it.
Never boxed.
And within a year, you became Golden Gloves champion.
Yeah.
That's insane. Gives me hope.
Yeah.
I got a shot, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about how much time you're going to put into it.
I like it. Wow. That's insane. And by chance, the judge that was giving you the sentence was the judge for your fight.
Same judge.
That mom came to him and he beat the hell out of the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
My mom actually got a picture of that too. Picture of when I was beating him up. Like, they had a guy taking photos. I caught him with like a right hook. She got that sitting in her room. So it's a good memory every time I go over there.
So then from that moment to when you got, how long was it until you heard that, whatever your sentence was?
It was probably about, it was like 4 or 5 months later.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long, man.
A lot of anxiety or
you
what?
do not understand the anxiety, because like, for me, it was tough because it was the toughest thing, because I'm like, yo, I always want people to do well and do good. And even though I come from the hood, I'm not the worst like type of person from there. I got a heart. I think about like a lot of kids there, and I'm just like, me? Like, wow. Like, how did I get myself wrapped up into that?
Yeah.
So I just felt stupid. I felt like I was letting my family down. That was the hardest part.
So you win the Golden Gloves, right? Did you dominate the championship fight, or was it close?
So it was a kid who beat me.
Oh.
He had beat me in on like my 4th or 5th fight.
Okay.
And so it was awesome. It was like a Rocky moment. Yeah. We got to fight in the finals. Tommy Trotter. I wanted to make sure I said his name.
Yeah.
Tommy Trotter.
Shout out Big T.
Is he still fighting?
Yeah. No, he actually cuts hair. He's a barber.
Oh, sick.
He stopped boxing, but he
Wow, he ended his career. Good job.
He was
Good job.
He was a cool dude, man.
Yeah.
And he made me train hard. So I like to always make sure I say his name, because I want to give him that. Because without him, I was training hard, but when I went to go fight him, they were like, Tommy.
Wow.
The first time I fought him, and then second time I fought him, it got a little bit quiet, because I made sure I was winning the fight. So whenever you hear the fans not cheering for the guy, you know he's losing.
Yeah. So you win that, and then what's your thought process? You're like, wow, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you have a test up until that point, or was this the first time where you're like, I'm the gift, I am legit?
No, I lost my first fight, my very first fight. So that pushed me to go hard. Then I lost to Tommy, but Tommy's loss was more the crowd. I was afraid of the crowd. The crowd made me think he was better. The crowd made me anxious. It made me tense. And then I that was experience, a learning experience for me.
Mhm, of
So that
course.
won't happen again. Um, and then once it was time for the Golden Gloves finals, I was ready for the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like now the crowd helps me.
Yeah.
Whether they booing, cheering, whatever, it's energy for me.
Mhm.
Do you prefer one or the other? Like the
I,
booing or
I
cheering?
prefer cheering.
Really?
If you gonna cheer, if
Some
you gonna
people like
cheer
the
for me,
boos, yeah.
I love hearing like people go crazy when I do a certain move,
Yeah.
or it's funny because the theatrics that I have in the ring, people enjoy that more than the boxing,
Yeah, yeah.
which is like cool to me because that's really who I am in the ring. Like I like
Mhm.
just having fun.
Yeah.
So when people get a kick out of it, I'm like, okay, cool. I could do this all around
Mhm.
Yeah.
every day.
Talk to us a little about the anxiety though. So you're training, for something big. You know that you want to box, but now in the back of your mind, you have to keep the realization that wow, this trial can go whichever way, right, along the way. So how did you deal with that anxiety for over a year of not knowing what the outcome would be? And I guess the question really is, what would be your advice to somebody who anticipates something happening but having an uncontrollable outcome, right? Because you couldn't
Right.
control that.
Yeah. So to be real with you, it never really left. It was always there. But when I was working out and I'm going hard for this goal, I can't think about both. Right. So I don't know the scientific terms for it, but I'm sure there is science behind it, right? If you indulge yourself into something and while you're doing that, you're not going to be your brain has to focus on what's in front of you, the task that you're doing. So you can't go run 5 miles, hit the bag, prepare for the best fighters and think about, okay, I also have this trial, or my grandmother's about to pass away, or the
Mhm.
things that bother us day to day when you chasing a goal and a
Right.
dream. I'm sure it's like that when you doing a big deal in the house, or you got
Mhm.
the best guy here sitting and you talking to him. You're not thinking about until right now what you have going on in your
Right.
other things that bother you in your life.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's
So
awesome. So how does the trial end up?
so then I ended up with 3 years probation. Then I had like the
Wait. So
yeah,
from a mandatory 13 years in prison
yeah,
to Judge White giving you another chance
another
and
chance.
saying you're not even going to jail, 3
Yeah.
years probation.
So
A gift, if you will.
A gift, if you will.
gift.
Very good, Michael. The
We,
show, Pirelli.
Come on, I'm listening over here.
so we tried to get we applied for an AR because I had never been in serious trouble.
What is AR?
Accelerated rehabilitation.
Gotcha.
That was one of the things that we were trying to use to help me not go to jail. I didn't fit under that criteria, so I started getting more help from people like Coach Mo, officers. There was a lot of people writing letters speaking to my character.
Yeah.
And I mean, no lie, there was like this many papers of just people writing references about the kid who I am. And I think that made a big difference.
Of course.
Because now it's just like, wow, all these people who are in the community are saying this kid is a good kid, just in the wrong area at the wrong time around the wrong people. And I man, every time I think about it, I'm like, wow, like, man, I would have been coming out of jail like around now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you do the math, it's like literally now you'd been getting out.
Yeah, it's like it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is, because the amount of things I was able to do in this time, and like, who knows what impact I'm gonna have after, like
Yeah.
my life after I'm done boxing, and I can only, like, I'm really truly focused on just like preventing kids from going through what I'm going through. Because it's hard to do both right now.
Yeah.
I can't like, I still do it, but the
It's not
balance
going
of it is just, it's tough.
Yeah.
You're saying your mentorship too?
Yeah, it's tough.
So Chordale now basically has a foundation, and it's kind of like I mean, at least for me, looking from the outside in, it's like a full circle moment because you really learned your lesson, and now you're taking what you've learned and you're applying it into the real world. So while you're chasing your own dreams, you're also mentoring youth in the community, which is very commendable, man. That's probably the most impressive thing for me personally to hear about you. Because not everybody would take the route that you did, and I think you said the word character before, and those letters that came in. I do believe that you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you made a bad decision, right? Like you were carrying whatever you were carrying, you got caught, but now everybody has a second and sometimes third chance at life, right? So when you get these opportunities, you need to seize the moment, like Chordale has.
What's foundation called?
Go the distance.
Good name too.
Go the distance. Yeah, it's important to me. It's important. It was already important to me when I wasn't a boxer.
Yeah,
I was already doing it. Like the younger kids who was outside, I was already cool with all the young kids because I'm like, yo, I could teach you how to do this. I could teach you how to play ball.
Yeah,
I was just something I enjoyed. I don't know why, but through going what I went through, it made me want to do it even more because there's so many kids who you could come up in the wrong place and then product of your environment. If you think that this guy is, the best guy, all the girls want to talk to him, want to hang with him, has the most money, nice car, you think that's important, and that this is the only way to get it when there's so many ways legally or, the right way, not cheating, lying, and doing things, stealing to get it. I just want to show kids that, so that way they don't have to go through the same thing I went through.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like just from watching fights and whatnot and catching up on your career, it seems like you're very like light when you fight. You're very like at ease and you're in the moment. Is it because it's like borrowed time? You're like, oh, I'm lucky to be even in this position, so I'm going to make the most of it, type of thing.
Yeah,
you seem relaxed when you're fighting.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how I feel about boxing in general.
Yeah,
like so when things get hard, I remind myself that, like, well, I could just be sitting in the cell.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
that's wild.
When it gets rough, it's like, it's kind of like a privilege.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I feel at times. I'm here. Yeah. I get to fight.
And then you realize also on top of it, the bigger you get and the more successful you are, the better the story is to then tell the kids that are coming up, and they're going to listen more. The more accolades and things, the more you add to that huge list. I would get, you ever see the guy who does the announcing, but it's not like the official buffer guy? It's like some random dude. I'd get that guy to wake me up every day with that to fire me up.
Yes.
I might just make one up to wake up.
Chordale, I got a question for you. So we always, the three of us specifically, we always have the conversation of, the products of your environment, and certain people go through adversity, whereas other people may not, right? Do you think that if you did not experience what you experienced, that you would have the same drive and work ethic that you have today?
That's a tough question.
It is.
That's a tough question. It really is. Because I had, when I was on Stanford High basketball team, I was the hardest worker on the team.
Okay.
Wasn't no question about it.
You played with Puckett?
I played with Mike P.
Yeah.
Chris Evans.
Wow.
I played AAU with Chris Evans.
CV, put the camera on me real quick.
He was little.
Wait.
He played...
How many times did I beat Mike Puckett over at Bible Street Park? I don't even know. I don't even know if that's a true statement, but I see you, Mike.
Here's a crazy stat for you like about Chris Evans. Do you know who Chris Evans is?
Yeah, of course.
He played behind me. I was the point guard because he was younger and he was small. And then he had a growth spurt. I didn't see the court, but I love Chris Evans. He's the best.
Yeah, Chris. I love Chris, man. Yeah. That's been my guy forever.
He grew fast that one year. Yeah. I showed up. I'm like, Chris, good thing I've been nice to you this whole time.
Yeah, Chris out of nowhere.
Right? It was wild. I think he dunked on me like 3 or 4 times.
So wait. So you said so you're the hardest worker on the team, which makes sense. And so, because I do believe that you would have found it just from what I'm seeing about you now. You're disciplined, you're consistent, whereas most people struggle with that. I guess my other question would be to somebody who does not go through adversity in life, right? How do you find your greatest version of yourself?
Good question.
That's a great question. What I would say is having that drive. You know, there needs to be a certain level of competition that you have with yourself, with yourself, with your friends, right? Like you can be a competitor with your friend, with your brother, without being jealous of him, right? My best friend, he go hard in all type of business, so it makes me want to go hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you just bought a house? I'm gonna buy a house too. Oh, you you invest in real estate? I'm gonna invest in real estate too.
Yep.
And it's Kev, my best friend, but there's not a jealous bone in my body. But everything he do, I'm like, I gotta do it too. We just built like that.
Kind of want to do it with them.
Yeah, that's it. We competitors. You know, we started a real estate LLC because of that. Because we was doing that. You got a house, I'm gonna get one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get one together.
I know a real estate guy, by the way. MPGRE.co. Go follow.
So it's just like, you know, even with to go back to your question, I'm sorry.
No, I was enjoying that.
With somebody who didn't go through adversity, sometimes it's just about a kid who's just into competition. I got a kid who he don't have no reason to be tough.
Yeah.
Don't got no struggle. Toughest kid in the group. I can't explain it, but that's something with him. He's a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like to lose. He'll train as hard as he can. I mean, some people just have that, and some people just don't. Some people don't care about winning. I hate losing.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Me too.
And I hate hearing people say like, "Oh, well, you know, it's not about winning."
But it is.
It's not about. It is
right.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and you could do it without being jealous of the person who won.
Yeah.
You were the better man.
Yeah.
You were the better woman. You were better today. Now I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna do everything I got to do. And I'm gonna be better than you next time. And you don't have to go through adversity to be like that. It's just something that you have, or something that's created, I guess, over time. Some kids and some adults do not have that.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say to the kid about people who don't.
Yeah. Well said.
I got a general question for you real quick. Boxing's a very lonely sport in a sense of like you're on like island when you get into, you know, the match or whatever, training. It's like you can have all the coaches in the world, but if you're not putting in the work, right, you get exposed on the back end. Is it tough? It sounds like you have a lot of high, lofty goals. Was it tough, and is it tough when you tell people the goals and they kind of look at you like you're crazy?
Yeah,
you know,
so I stopped telling them. Yeah, I just because when I told my mom I was gonna be a boxer, she laughed at me. That hurt, but it was fuel.
Yeah,
because I still remember it.
Yeah,
right. It still bothers me, even though she's my biggest supporter now.
Yeah.
Right. It bothered me.
Yeah.
It made me say, all right, I gotta do this. I have to do this. I have to do that. But then certain things you just can't say because you're gonna sound stupid.
Yeah.
And then, but sometimes I say it not thinking about certain things, and then somebody say,
Yeah.
You're like, oh, all right. Now I gotta do it again.
Yeah.
Now I have to.
Yeah.
I have to because I put it out there. But yeah, sometimes I just won't say it because I know they won't. You know, people won't believe it. When I told all my friends at the time when I started boxing, I went back outside. I said, yo, I got something for us. Like, what's up? Like, yo, we all gonna be boxers. We all can fight.
Yeah.
I'm in the gym. I've been in the gym. Yo, I can fight. I can fight. Let's go. We all to the gym. Like 2 or 3 of them started coming. But it was like 14, 15 of us.
Oh, really?
Other ones made them, the other 2 or 3 stop coming. It's like, man, you ain't gonna be no fighter.
Yeah.
They got me now. I got 3 of them, 3 of my friends in jail.
Yeah.
And
so your career is a good example of like you're crazy until you're not.
Yeah.
Right? Which
Absolutely.
is the hard thing because probably when you're 130 fights in the amateurs and you're having successes, you're still not where you want to be, right? Like professionally and all that
Right.
stuff. And people are still probably giving you a hard time. Like, oh, you're just an amateur or whatever they say to discredit you. And then once you get into the pros, it's like, oh, well, I'm not a champion yet. There's always that next thing.
Yeah, it's always going. That's always going to be there. Even when, no matter what I do, but that's everybody.
Yeah.
It's not only me. It's gonna happen to you. It's gonna happen to you. It's gonna happen to you. It's gonna happen to everybody. I don't care what you do. You're not gonna satisfy everybody, especially people that came up with you or around you, and they know who you used to be.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what they judging me on. Not judging me what I am now. They're basing it upon who they think I was or who I was.
Mhm.
You know, the things that I've done in my life. So then now they start to say like, nah, he don't deserve that. They don't know. You don't know what we deserve.
Yeah.
You don't know what I had to do to
And what you
become
work for.
the person that I am today, or think the way that I do, the maturity that I had to go through.
Yeah.
So to anybody going through that, right? Like you can't please everybody. Everybody gonna have something to say. I don't care if I make it to a world title. Somebody gonna say, "Oh, well, he didn't beat so and so for it." Or he don't have the other belts.
Yeah.
If I got all the belts, oh, he can't do it at the next weight class. It's always going to be something.
We wanted to take a quick second to let you guys know that we partnered with our good friends over at Orgain.com. We're happy to offer our listeners 30% off by entering the code NOSNOOZE30. Again, that's NOSNOOZE30 for 30% off your first order. If you're on the market for a new protein powder, nutritional shake, protein bar, or Mike's favorite, collagen peptides, Orgain is your one-stop shop. As all of you know, my Crohn's disease is currently in remission, and the only protein I use is from Orgain. My personal favorites are the chocolate peanut butter and the vanilla bean. With the code, you can try a 2-pound tub for under $20. Talk about not snoozing. Go get yours today. Now, back to the epi.
Was your father around when you were coming up?
So my dad, my dad went to jail when I was like 5. So or maybe not 5, maybe like 7, something like that.
Gotcha. So your relationship with your mom was the foundation, obviously, for you coming up,
my
right?
mom was solid. My mom was solid, bro, solid.
How is she at fights? Is she like loud?
That's my baby.
Yeah. What is her?
She in between.
Yeah.
She's nervous, then loud, nervous.
My
loud.
mother was the loudest.
Yeah.
Like when I say like people, I was embarrassed a lot of the time, but I couldn't say it because like she was supporting me. So loud, and I wasn't that good. Think about that. Like just being okay and having loud.
That's good. That's good. Dude.
My daughter, she'll be 3, and she just had a dance recital like last weekend, and she like barely moved on stage, and I'm like going crazy up there, and I think I made her scared, and she just looks at the camera. She was looking at me like while everyone else is dancing.
I can see that.
But I'm like, go baby girl, that's my baby. That's
and
my
they're trying to figure out who your kid is because like there's no one really dancing.
Like she's not even moving. What's going on? My sister hit me and she's like, she's a statue right now. Like it could have been my fault. But so my point in asking you that is, how important do you think, and you're talking to dads here, right? So how important are father figures in children's lives?
The best thing, man, it's a statistic that 65%, I want to say, end up incarcerated.
65% of
without the households without the dad.
Gotcha.
Households without the dad.
Gotcha.
I think it was something like that. I could double check, but I don't put my phone.
No, I got you. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
we don't check stats here. Don't worry.
Say whatever you
we
want.
Just make stuff
We're the
up.
#1 podcast in the world. No Snooze
stats.
podcast. That's a statistic for you.
Stats
but
are loose,
yeah, I mean, it's important, man. So like hearing you say that and hearing you talk about your mom, like it's important. It really is.
Yep.
Because even when my dad came out of jail when I was like 13, 14. And we didn't have a relationship until I was about 16, 17. But he always came to my Stanford High games. We weren't even talking.
Yeah.
But he was there.
Saw him in the crowd.
And it still was like, wow, my dad here. And then once we got cool, because before he died, we got to live together. We lived together for like a year and a half. Yeah. And it was the best time. Because he loved ball. I love ball. We used to just crack jokes all day. So it was cool, you know. And he was there when I first started boxing, so I got some good memories with him.
Nice, man.
Wow.
Can we talk a little boxing? Because I'm all fired up.
Yeah, let's get it.
I'm watching some of your fights this morning. So I like to watch a little boxing when I'm in my gym. Jim Miguel, the basement.
The basement, if you will.
The basement. It's like the Rocky gym, you know? It's rough. Weights aren't like the same size.
It's dusty.
You know? Dusty. You'd love it. Come on over. But I was watching a couple of your fights today, and I have to say, I watch a lot of boxing. I'm not a fanatic, but I enjoy it. A lot of combinations, a lot of body work. Personally, I love the body shots.
Yeah.
I think those probably kill when you see someone get hit with them.
Yeah.
And when they hit flush, you see it connect and you see the wins.
Yeah.
You could tell that it like connected. So what's your style when you're in there? Like, what are you looking for? What are the openings? Do you like to feint a lot? Like, what do you have a overall style that you like to think about when you fight?
I just kind of just go with the flow, see what's there. But pretty much most of the time, it's always body work.
Yeah.
Using my jab and putting the punches together. You know, putting them together. It's harder to block.
Yeah.
3-4 punches. It's easier to get ready for one shot.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking to use my jab. Once I kind of got somebody standing still, trying to protect themselves from only the jab, and they're gonna make themselves stationary. Then I start putting them together. That's throwing 1, 2, 3, 4 punches at a time.
Yeah, it looks like you go body, and then you try to start working upwards as they get tired, because then they're like wincing.
You're studying him? You think
I
you're
do.
gonna
I
fight
enjoy
him?
it. So I listen to. I like to listen to the guys that know a lot about boxing, because then when I'm watching it, I get to appreciate it a little more. Yeah. So I'm a little student of the game. I can't do it, but I enjoy it.
I hear you.
Like when the Tank fight recently. Like I like to watch the breakdowns after, because they're so fast.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even see him connect with the liver shot.
That is true.
And then like look where he hits him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's setting this up the whole fight with this feint. So you have this like appreciation for the game, the sweet science a little more. So
And the thing with the ribs though, right? Like once you break them, you can't really repair those, right? Like they just kind of grow back.
Is that
themselves.
a fact?
Yeah,
No, I'm serious.
That's
true.
a fact?
That's true.
Yes.
I can show you one of my ribs.
That's the worst part.
Because I cracked tip of my rib.
Don't tell Mike, man. He might exploit you when he fights you.
Listen.
And I had to. It's nothing they could do for you.
Yeah.
Right, because think about it. They don't open your body up and then like,
I don't know. I mean, science, you know?
Yeah, it just heals back.
I always get baffled by those challenges on
The body shots?
Yo, like,
Do you think you can take a body shot? Because
with a glove on? I mean, I don't want to take one, but when I see the videos, right, and I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the professional here, but like somebody like a Ryan Garcia who has that power behind him, how is he punching some regular dude and that regular dude is not dying? Like, how does that happen in the ribs? I would think that
like,
I would
He
die.
sends people to the hospital, though.
Yeah, probably with
like you
broken
would
ribs.
send probably if I give you 3 shots at Dave, right, and make sure it's Dave, not me. Do you think you break a rib? Maybe
with a glove or without?
No.
Wow,
With
you're
the
going bare
glove.
knuckle.
With the glove.
I'm
With the
asking.
glove.
With
the glove.
With the glove? Nah, you a big guy. You might. I don't know. It depends.
Thank you.
It
Thank you,
depends. I don't know.
Cordell.
But think about it, right?
you.
He's connecting.
Mike,
Listen, he's connecting in a fight
Yes.
where guys are moving and trying to avoid him. You're standing still.
Oh,
but
you
maybe
saying stationary?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not saying in a
I'm
fight.
breaking a rib.
Yeah.
See, look at that.
Oh, yeah,
I
I'm
love
breaking
that.
a rib.
I'm
Yeah.
breaking a
I
rib.
thought
You might
meant-
take a couple
might
ribs.
get 3
moving
ribs.
Like me and him,
No.
moving around.
I'm saying standing still and you just get a free shot.
Nah, I'm breaking a rib. It only take 13 pounds of pressure.
What?
That's it.
I gotta protect
even
my
Mike
ribs
could
a little
break
more.
a rib.
I gotta wear some
Yeah.
protection when I'm out showing
Yeah,
properties.
if you guys just stand still and punch each other, you'll break each other's ribs.
So why don't people work the body more?
Because they're playing
'cause it-
defense
throw-
against
yeah.
it.
They're always headhunting.
Because
Not really though.
If you think about it, it's hard to.
Yeah, I guess.
Nobody just letting you punch them to the body.
Yeah.
You go to the body. Every time you bring your hand down,
Yeah.
that's how much
You're exposed.
space
Right,
is in
right.
between.
Yeah.
So people don't really want to go for body shots.
Yes.
I like punching to the body. So
We could go back there in a minute, but you had said something in a
Love this fight.
in an interview where you said my mind is my greatest asset or something like that. Being as skilled as you are physically, the work ethic you have, why do you believe that the mind is your greatest asset?
when things get tough, I always feel like I could get out of it. I feel like I could always get through. I've been through tough things my whole life, so I feel like when I'm in the ring, I never feel like I could lose. You know, only my loss that I lost, I couldn't think, right? My body couldn't. I still stood up. You know, I still wanted to go. My mind was still telling me like, yo, bro, come on, go. But my body couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But my mind was still in it. My mind was
Mhm.
like, yo, you could do this. Come on. But, you know, my body, it's a different thing. You know, your mind and your body got to be
course.
together.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Take us through the just staying on the mind piece. What a typical routine and prep looks like for you. Kind of 3 weeks out from a fight, or maybe a month.
So running. I either most of the time now, what I've been doing is running. I've been running after I spar or after I work out. I got that from Tony Harrison.
So that's
When I was
strategic, right?
Yeah, out in Detroit. He was sparring. I seen him spar 15 rounds and then go outside. He's like, I'm gonna go for a run. I'm like, I'm run with you. I go run with him. We run 4.5 miles after he sparred 15 rounds.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna start running after I work out.
Yeah.
Cause that's another thing where you show your mind like, yeah, I'm tired, but I can still do this. Right? Your mind, if you get your mind to go hard, your body gonna follow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, fatigue, right, is the biggest. Like, if you can be in good shape, you know, you can outlast people, go to the later rounds.
right.
You know, yeah. So when you're in a camp, right? How dialed in is like the diet? It all depends on what kind of weight you got to hit, or do you
Right.
consistently eat like the same thing? Like, what does that look like?
You pretty much eat the same thing, no matter what.
Is that my phone?
Because,
Whose phone is that?
Mine.
I thought it was the rebel. I was ready to fight you.
You can't. Yeah, I don't
I'm ready to
think-
go. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I don't want to forget to ask you about the lead ups to the fights. Like, as you get closer to the fight,
Mhm.
like the mindset, do you shift into more of like a serious mode, or are you light the whole way through?
I'm pretty much light the whole way through.
Oh yeah.
I get a little more serious during sparring.
Yeah.
During sparring, I get a little serious because now I'm practicing what I'm supposed to do. So if you're not a good sparring partner, and I could just walk all over you, then I don't really want you here. I don't need to spar you because I'm preparing like it's a fight. If I'm not going into a fight, then you know, a little more casual.
Yeah.
I won't go for the same shots. I won't try to hurt you.
Yeah.
But when I'm training for a fight, I'm trying to hurt you.
Trying to break some ribs.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't really care.
Me too.
I'm not really thinking about you. And
Yeah.
so if it gets bad to the point where you can't, I don't feel like you could defend yourself anymore, I'm gonna just tell you get out the ring.
Got you. So you're leading up to the fight. You're getting dialed in. When you start to do the press runs and you start to like see people face to face, your opponent, and you do like face offs and whatnot. How's that?
It's weird.
Is it weird?
It's weird. I don't like it.
No.
It's just I don't need it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna punch you in the face
Whoa.
regardless. You know what I mean?
Hey,
You know what
we're
I'm saying?
friends. We're friends.
It's like, you know, like
You don't need
You don't
the show.
enjoy it, though?
You
I
don't
get
need the
it. I get
theatrics.
it's cool
To
for
promote,
like
yeah.
like I'm gonna always do it.
Yeah, you
And
prefer not to, though?
I'll always do interviews and things like that because those are the only times that people get to like see who I am
Yeah.
and understand. Because
But you don't get anything out of it? Like, you don't feel the
I don't
person
get
out?
nothing out of it.
No?
Nothing.
Because some boxers, like, yeah, I saw a little doubt in their eyes.
Man,
It's all
that's
bull?
bullshit.
Okay.
Ain't. Any man who signed a contract said, yo, I'm gonna come fight, I'm gonna train for you. He ain't scared.
Yeah.
He already got in his mind he wanna win too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He wouldn't have did all this.
Yeah.
So now when he get here, he may be a little nervous, but the nerves don't come from being scared. The nerves come from I want to perform well.
Got it.
Like when you go play basketball
Yeah.
or football, anything. You're not nervous because you're like, yo, I might get hurt. You didn't even think about that. You're like, I just want to make sure I hit this three.
Yeah.
Get the tackles.
Yeah.
Make the right passes, make the right reads.
Yeah, I love something you said too that I saw. You said you basically should be treated, and this was a lesson I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lesson you learned after one of your losses, maybe prior. This might have been when you were an amateur, but then you said I shifted, and every man that I fight, I'm gonna assume that they're Ali. I'm gonna assume that they're Mike Tyson because if they're stepping in that ring, they have that same mentality that I do. So I need to prepare like that person is gonna be the best boxer in the world.
That's it. because sometimes the most skilled guy doesn't win. When I lost this, he wasn't a better skillful fighter than me. He was the bigger guy. He was the more prepared guy. I came out thinking it's the same thing as fighting at 154. Not taking into account he cut down to make 160.
Is this
I
the
didn't
ammo?
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't
gotcha.
cut to make the 160, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I weighed in at 157.
Yeah.
I came in, you know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
came in too casual thinking that it's the same thing instead of like prepping myself and my body for a guy to be 175, 180. Not, but like again, learning experience.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm gonna take that with me. And it won't happen again. You know, now I could prepare myself for those things. If I go back up to 160, or actually when I go back up to 160, because I gotta get it. I gotta get it back. I'm not stopping boxing till I fight him again.
Oh, really?
I'm not doing it.
When you
Y'all heard it here first.
Yeah.
Call him out right here. When you're in the fight, is there a moment where you like click in? So like when I played football, not to say that I did at any high level, but as soon as you get that first hit, you start to get the instincts back, right? Like you hit someone good and then all of a sudden you're locked in, or, you know, there's like a moment. Or basketball, you know, you make the first move, you're defending for the first time, a rebound. Is there anything in a fight, like a first punch, your first jab, that gets you like,
oh, that gets you going?
Yeah.
It's that jab.
It's the jab.
It's the jab. And I'm sure a lot of
Does it need to
fighters will say
connect or just to throw it?
Nah, that jab, when they connect flush on they face, their body or something, you know, like you start to know you getting that range
The
on them.
distance. Yeah.
I got the perfect distance.
Yeah.
And so now next time you touch them, you're like, oh, all right. It only take me about 2 rounds though.
Yeah.
Once I get like 1 or 2 rounds in, I'm like, all right, I'm comfortable.
Gotcha.
Once I know their range and what shots they kind of like, because we creatures of habit.
Yeah.
So whatever they did in round 1 and 2, they're gonna kind of stay
Like
with
patterns.
that same thing.
I'd be so predictable. They were like, this dude is eating 6 eggs before his fight. I
Right-
already know.
right hook. Yeah.
I already know it. He's having steak for dinner tonight. You said something. I have a quote here that says, "My life isn't defined by boxing, but boxing did help define me as a man." What's the biggest lesson that you can correlate from boxing to life, and for somebody who's not a boxer or a fighter?
Structure, discipline, grit, determination. I mean, the list go on. It's all around those though.
Yep.
We all have those qualities. It's just what we want to use it for. Right? Or actually, let me say it. Not everybody has those qualities. most high level functioning people have those qualities.
Yep.
And we just display them in different walks of life. Right?
Yeah.
We all got different careers,
Mm-hmm.
but we exhibit those things. And for me, it was just boxing, and I used it to do real estate. I used it to do mentorship. I used to become a personal trainer. They're all qualities that help me become a better version of myself. So, like boxing is just whether I get to where everybody expects me to be. I already know boxing has made me the person that I could be. A better father. I'm not a dad yet, but I could be that. A better mentor, a better coach, right? Boxing is just a great tool for anybody. Even if you just do the workout, so you can learn what will you do when things get hard. You gonna quit? You gonna keep doing the workout? How does your mind? What do you do with your mind in that time? Just seeing what you go through mentally when you're doing the workout.
Well said.
He's
good.
talking to me here. I like this. No,
calling you out.
we're huge on the mindset piece, and honestly, I mean, before we had kids, and even now, but for me personally, fitness has been a staple in my life. You know, I used fitness as a stress reliever, you know, to get me out of the space I was in. I had a lot of health issues. You know, didn't have the easiest life coming up, but fitness was always a way that I said, wow, you know what? You know, I'm physically putting this work in, but my mind was still weak, right? So then over time, and once I became a grown man, and now obviously in any relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship with my daughter, I've realized that it's the same thing, right? instead of me doing physical work, me staying in the moment when my daughter is having a tantrum, right? I have two options. I can stay in the moment, calm her down, talk her out of that, or I could flip out too, right? So it's the same thing. It's the same dynamic. That's why I really preach to everybody, like, listen, just get active in life, whether it's boxing, whether it's walking, physical fitness for me has literally changed my entire life.
Yeah.
So it's amazing when you hear somebody at your level who's a professional, a world champion, speaking on the same things.
Yeah, definitely inspiring.
Yep.
So what's next? Like, what's the next immediate goals? Because you said you're not done. You said you're going to focus on the foundation and kind of really bring that up to speed once you're done. So we gotta make a run here. How old are you?
32.
What's the timeline? What do we think? Are you fighting till 38, 40? What do you think?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I'm just gonna go about how my body feels.
Yeah.
However when my body tell me I'm done, I'll be done.
Yeah.
But for the time, I'm just gonna keep going, keep enjoying it. I'm not gonna put my age on it.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's what we do sometimes.
Yeah.
We put the age on it on certain goals,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're like, oh, I'm not here, and we get down on ourselves. But it's just like,
It doesn't really
you
matter.
Can
Yeah.
you can still do it.
Yeah.
You know, you can really still do it. Like whatever you want to do, you can do. If you decide, yo, I'm gonna go be a fireman tomorrow.
Yeah.
You could really go do it.
Yeah.
It's just, yo, can you hold 100 pounds? Could you lift a 200-pound person? Can you
Climb a
be
ladder
in the
that
front?
goes way higher than I'm comfortable with.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, do you have the capability of those things? And
Yeah.
you could do it.
Yeah.
We could do whatever we want. So I don't know when I'm gonna stop, but I'm gonna keep doing both at the same time. But I'm gonna go harder once I do stop with the foundation. The fight.
Yeah. If a perfect scenario, what's the couple fights and then how does it play out?
I want to fight in June. Then
Okay.
I want to fight in August. We got an offer in August. Both fighters went different routes. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I want to fight June. I want to fight as much as I can.
Is June just because it's a good timeline for like once you get some set, you can get prepared by then?
Yeah, I haven't. So in 4 years, I haven't fought more than once in a year.
Yeah.
I fought twice this year.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm
It's hard to
back
stay
on
active.
track to
You stay fresh too, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to stay busy.
Yeah.
I don't care who I fight. I just want to fight. I just want to keep building up.
Mm-hmm.
Working my way up, and I feel like I should from people around here. I should have a target on my back. Hopefully somebody call me out so I could beat somebody up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Will you
because they
start
get
calling
that
people
belt.
out or no?
I mean, they should be calling me. I'm the one with the belt.
Yeah. But you
You
got to
know,
take in your own hands
But
sometimes.
but I will.
Because then you
I'm gonna
drive
make one right now.
You drive your own boat. That's what
I
I'm
got
saying.
I got this dude. So I had brought up an opponent I wanted to fight. Roberto Duran's son,
Okay.
Roberto Duran Jr.
Junior. Yep.
It was he got a cool name.
Smart.
So I want to fight him, but I sent him to the promoters. Then they ended up signing him. The promoter that I fought for last. I'm like, wow. So now, what I'm gonna do? I started it here. I mentioned it. So now I'm gonna go on Instagram after I leave here,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna talk some shit about
I
him.
love it.
So this is real though, because you got the belt. Your professional record is now 20-1 or 19-1.
19-1.
So 19-1. See, I already manifested the next
yeah,
win. I got
you already
my
know
brother.
what's happening.
So 19-1. So how do you now? And this is WBC, right?
Mhm.
What do you think the biggest difference is to make that next leap? And is it just opportunity? Is it promotion? Is it the business side of things? What is it?
I'll get a call. Once those rankings come out, May 14th, I'll get a call. They'll start calling me. They already have started calling me. But once they see the rankings and then I'm ahead of a few people in that top 40 on the WBC, I'm gonna start getting the calls.
So it's really just it's the experience that you've had now, and then obviously that track record. I mean, 19-1 is pretty damn good.
Not bad.
I mean,
It's not bad.
pretty sad. I hope you're
It's not
getting
bad.
Yeah. I forget the female's name. I think maybe Alicia Ashley. She was a WBC champion for a long time. Do you know who that is?
No.
Or no. She came in and spoke to CV. You probably remember. She spoke to a bunch of the kids in the town that we work in. But just a great athlete and an even better person too. Does a lot of community work,
Nice.
but out of WBC.
Yeah,
Very cool.
My general thought on all this is the more visibility, the better. If you can call your shots, you drive the bus, right?
Yeah.
You call the people, you kind of versus waiting back and getting a call,
Yeah.
which is fine. But the more you can put out there and be like in control, the more you get to call your shots, you know?
Yeah.
Because I watch, again, I'm a fan, I'm not an expert, but I love watching, like, there's a guy, Frankie Davey. I don't know how the hell he came onto my screen. I think he's in London or some shit. I watch him train, and I watch every video puts out because it's like, all right, getting ready for a fight and whatever, and he has the date, and he has a sparring fight, and he talks about, like, you know, today was good. I worked the jab, this and that. Like, I would love someone local that I could watch and follow day to day. I jump around with him when he's working out, and it's like my routine every day. I check in, and so like stuff like that for visibility just gives you more fans, gives you more notoriety. You can call, it gives you a platform to call people out. It's cool. So, and it seems like you're starting to do that.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give you a shout out when I do it too.
Because like you, a lot of people work out with you, right?
Yeah.
In the boxing format. Think about that. All the people on YouTube can be like, oh, I remember him from Stanford, whatever. And like they can start following your career. And not only when you have a fight, but like day to day, in day in and day. And you can
like seeing what I go through. I did I did it for a couple fights.
Yeah.
I did it. It just kind of got a little.
It's tough.
It's work, man.
Yeah.
But it's the consistency and the presence too that he's talking about, right? Because I mean, you do incredible stuff. Just even with the, I mean, how cool would it be to have somebody kind of filming your workout and then boom, you shower up and then transition into mentoring kids, right? Then you take the same lessons that you've been able to apply. Now you're speaking to the youth and everything is recorded. We all do incredible things in life, right? But the beauty of technology is now you can actually highlight it. Right. And it's tough. And especially I can see it now. You're a very humble person, unlike Michael and myself. We like talking about ourselves. But yeah, man, I agree with Mike 100%. I think you take that next step and put yourself out there and just be consistent with it. And then, your following will go crazy.
Well, the chess piece too, the whole thing is then when you're done and you have this time, you're going to be mentoring all these kids. They've probably been following you for 10 years.
Yep.
And they'll follow your career as you win. And then it gives you this. It's cool. It's a cool thing to look back at too.
Yeah.
You'll look back and be like, damn, look how good I was, or whatever. It's cool. I think it's a cool flat. And it wouldn't be additional work. You have to structure it where your focus is the work and you got someone that does it full time.
That does it for you.
And they just do it and you're helping them make a name. They follow you around. You don't have to change what you do. You're yourself. And they're just documenting how you do it. Whatever you're doing. You know? I'd watch.
I got to make that happen.
Yeah, man.
It's a great idea. Definitely.
What is it like when you're fighting in an arena like Mohegan Sun, where you just won that title, and you have hundreds of fans from your neighborhood, right? Like, what's the difference between fighting there and fighting at maybe fighting in Vegas where you have 50 people for you? Is there a big difference when the crowd is like close to home for you?
Yeah, it's a big difference. I mean, even though like it's kind of the same. It's a big difference because I know what's there. You know, I could go when I'm walking to the ring and I get in the ring and I look around, I see faces. You know, so now I know they're there. I know who's in the building, and then I can hear the voices. No matter you boxing and you focused, but you still can hear. You just kind of like tune it out. It's kind of like noise, right? But you still hear it, and fighting at home it's been crazy because I never fought at home till this year. So I fought 2 fights back to back, and they chanting. I felt like I was Rocky. They called Chordale. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
That's never happened before because I've always fought the Barclays Center, Madison Square Garden, Microsoft Theater.
It's not bad though.
That is a big line.
All these
poor guy.
big places,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Fighting all these big places, and you think like, okay, yeah, those are the best. Those are the best. But then I go home, and I'm like, yo, this the best right here.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, like I got to do those, and it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I always do them. When they call, I'm gonna go do it.
Yep.
But it's just nothing like fighting at home because everybody who you expect to be there, they there. They chanting, and because they're there, everybody in the building now is kind of like, oh, this guy is from Connecticut.
Yep.
So even if they wasn't there for me,
Now they're there for
they
you.
right,
Yeah.
they cheering for me too. So I get new fans because these people, they bring their friends.
Mm-hmm.
And other people sitting around, you know, you might talk to them like, yo, who is that? Why everybody cheering for him?
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
Very cool.
Boxing's real cool because it's kind of linear. Because you like get the next opponent, you beat them, you move to the next one, you move to that. It's very like very Mortal Kombat-esque. Keep moving up, fighting people.
Yeah. What is what's a piece of advice that you know now that you wish you knew earlier in your own life,
piece of advice.
or a lesson, or even a lesson, anything?
That's a good one.
Like
Wow.
for me, it's definitely the concept of patience. You know, like very early on in my life, up until probably, I don't know, 5 years ago, and I'm still very impatient too. But I've really grasped the concept of working towards something and understanding that things take a long time to reach its peak. Doesn't mean that I can't put my 100% in on a daily basis, but the outcome of that and having the ability to, even when things aren't going the way that you want them to go, to understand that if you keep putting that work in, over time, you will accomplish what you're set out to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just giving you context as to something for me.
For me, it probably is the same thing.
Nah, don't take the Mike Pirelli, man.
I'm not even
Good
gonna,
move.
but I'm not
same thing.
going. I'm not. I just was gonna say that. Like, I'm not gonna take that because you asked me a question and you answered it.
And you took a good answer, right?
now,
See,
like,
it's not your fault. You just did that.
But for me, I'm gonna say that I wish I knew.
Yeah, and everything you've been through a lot, man. I mean, you lost your dad. I'm sure you've lost other family members. Obviously, the almost incarceration that whole year.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You've been through a lot.
For honestly, like, it's just like making the most out of my time. You know, like really not wasting time. Like not spending time on just doing idle things, like keeping me in the same space.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to be a better person every day.
Yeah.
Better boxer, better coach, better brother, right? Better friend. Just constantly just leveling up, learning new ways to be just overall a better businessman. Just anything I could do to not stay stagnant. I'm addicted to like really being a better human. It's just dope to me. I wake up and I'm like, damn, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do today? Like I need it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it comes from the competition aspect. But like I said, it's not competing in a way where I'm jealous of anybody. It's just, you got one, I feel like I should have it too.
Mm-hmm.
So your lessons,
His answer was better than mine, by the way.
way better.
Yeah.
Contribute to what I think about daily is like not waiting for permission. Whenever I've slowed down and like lost momentum, so I was waiting for someone to give me a cosign. You know, I was trying to get some type of approval, or someone be like, yeah, you could do that. Or like asking, you know, advice from someone that who cares what they say. Right. That always got me in trouble. Versus like, I'm going to go to the boxing gym and just start boxing, see what happens. Right. What's the worst that can happen? You know? So that's been like the thing I think about constantly is like every time I stop doing something, it's because I'm waiting for some type of permission. You know, I think a lot of people do that when they're younger too. They're like, yeah, I kind of want to do this, but like, I don't know if anyone will coach me.
Right.
It's like no one wants to coach you if you're not working, right?
Yeah.
Like if a boxer's been boxing or at least trying in the gym by themselves, you're more likely to go try to help that person versus someone that's not doing anything, right?
Absolutely.
So like you did, you went right to the gym and just started going. You didn't ask, hey, can I go box? Like, am I allowed to box while I wait for my trial? Should I box? You just start doing it, you know?
Yeah, you just take control of what you want.
Yeah, but a lot of people in general just like are like, they have all these reasons they can't, so they never do anything.
Right.
You know?
And that's why they get nothing.
Yeah.
That's right. There was a quote in our text message this morning with us and Devin. Shout out Devin, right? By the way,
Dev's back.
There you go for connecting
this.
But she said something along the lines of "slow feet don't eat meat."
Great.
Chordale,
Oh.
you know I eat a steak every single day. Like, do I have slow feet because I'm eating meat? What's going on here?
Nah, man. Listen, man. I did vegetarian for like 9 months, so I can't even speak about, not. I'm a meat eater too, really, honestly.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that.
I know.
Okay.
Oh,
I was like, I hope you understood
I was
that.
joking, Michael, but
I'm saying.
I do eat a steak every day. You know. All right. Before we close out though, where can everybody follow you? Your Instagram page, your training locations if you're doing personal training and stuff like that for business purposes. So just let everybody know where they can find you at.
You can find me with Chordale Booker, or the gift_7. Those are my handles on all of my pages. If you want to do personal training, if you want to come do classes, if you got some kids who need to be mentored, we're here. We're here. I'm part of the community. I pride myself on being part of the community, and I really love the kids in this town, man. Some of these kids is crazy, like so. I really enjoy it. I feel like I'm privileged to be somebody who they look to speak to, or even just share their day with, because a lot of kids don't want to talk now.
I was just, as you were talking, I was thinking about a good name for your TV show or your YouTube show.
Michael, the show Pirelli over here.
I'm thinking through it. Something with the book, the book of Chordale, something like that. Something.
No, Chordale, I really just want to again take the time to acknowledge you and the work that you've put in thus far. Your story is incredible. I'm very excited to continue the journey with you. You're going to be hearing our voices at your next fight, whenever that is.
I appreciate that.
But I love stories of impact, right? Like you were heavily influenced by something that happened pretty early on in your life, and you've taken it full circle to now change other individuals' lives. So just want to encourage you and acknowledge you to continue that journey, because that is not an easy task.
Yeah, it's not, and I appreciate that. But I mean, I'm thankful, man. I'm thankful, and I appreciate y'all bringing me here. Just being able to because without this, more because we got something like this, more kids will see it.
Yep.
Or more parents will see it, and they'll be like, okay, maybe I should take my kid over there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of boxing gives parents a little, they get a little nervous about what can happen to their kid. But no kid has to box. No kid has to actually get in the ring and fight. It's just about the workout.
Yeah.
And the environment, right?
Yeah, and I think that the gym, the boxing environment, and what the boxing workout does to you physically, and how it kind of makes you want to quit, but you don't. It makes you
trains you.
Yeah, it kind of gets you to understand, you know what, I can do this.
You bring up a good point. So we definitely have a lot of listeners who are parents with children that probably range in age from 6 days old till 20 plus. The same conversation is stemmed around football these days too, with the stigma of head injuries. What would you say to a parent that might be a little iffy about putting their child in boxing?
I always tell them that they don't have to fight. They don't have to fight. They could just come here. They could train. You can be here the first time they spar. I always make it very safe, as safe as you can with a contact sport. Start off with just jab, only jabs. That's only the left hand straight out, or if you southpaw, right hand straight out.
It'd be tremendous if you made every kid southpaw that you train. Just all southpaws. Kids can't throw a punch. You're you're southpaw.
All of them, right?
Yeah.
That could be a new gym, Stanford Southpaws.
Yeah. You might be on to something.
Come on, baby.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but that's it really.
That's a great idea. Imagine if he has a gym and you broadcast live fights Friday nights locally for all the kids that you work with. So they have something to look forward to every week.
Yeah.
It'd be tremendous.
We were doing that.
Were you doing that?
We were doing that on when it was COVID. We were doing it on Monday. It was called Monday Morning Live.
We'll go after ourselves.
Sorry. No, but that's tremendous.
Yeah, no, it is. That's dope.
I want to box your body too. Now that we're talking,
no.
I don't want to box. I just want the boxer body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't have a boxer.
I want to look like people see me and be like, man, he's probably like a boxer or something.
Yeah,
and then I'm not.
Yeah, but Tyson Fury.
Yep.
I don't want that body.
I'm
I don't want that body.
That dude looks like a
Come on,
mess.
don't insult me.
I'm just saying, Tyson Fury is arguably the best boxer right now.
100%.
Yes.
I don't want to be the best boxer. I want to have the best boxer body. You know what I mean?
That was
I want
so
to be more
good.
like Tommy Fury.
that was so good. That was almost as good as when we did the interview with Brad Stier.
Oh, he killed me. Bro.
I said, like, what position would I be in the
He gave you a cool position
in the Army or,
He's like,
or
you're gonna be
Navy
in the
or something
front
like that?
lines with like a
He said, yeah,
spear.
you're going to be a machine gunner. Like, you're in
Yeah.
the back holding the, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, thanks, Brad. So Mike said, well, what about
Yeah,
me?
what was I?
He said, you'll probably be in the back with like headphones on, like behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
like turning knobs. I'm like, my man, come on.
And now
I'm
you
6'2".
basically
Like,
now
put me
you
to work.
basically just told him that he looks like the worst
Tyson
boxing
Fury.
body in America.
But he the best.
Now we're talking. That was very nice.
Very
of you.
funny. Is there a so usually we end with a quote or some sort. Is there a mantra, a personal quote that you have kind of lived by or you constantly tell yourself over and over again? And if there is, please share it.
Man, it's two, but they don't. I don't know how people gonna apply these to their life.
Don't worry about it.
Mike Tyson. I'm sure you guys know this
I
one.
know this one.
Everybody got a plan, they get punched in the face.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a
Yep.
good one.
And which
then
is,
Ali-
but that's true for life too, though.
Ali said he hated every minute of training. You go apply this to life. Hate every minute of training, but suck it up, all right? Because you gonna live the rest of your life as a champion.
It's pretty.
That one you can apply to
It's
your
a
life.
pretty good one.
That's big.
You
time.
gotta apply that to life.
Yeah.
That one you can't.
Absolutely.
I don't know about the Tyson one.
No, you
yeah,
can.
that's a good one.
You
I
could.
get punched in the mouth every morning by my kids.
Yes,
Right,
yeah, it doesn't
right.
have
Wake
to be
me
a
up, I'm
physical
like,
punch.
Jesus
You could,
Christ.
but a lot of people won't take it in that,
Yeah.
that metaphorically.
Yes.
I've gotten knee to the face lately by them. For real
Yeah,
though.
kids
Like
are
I'm like,
wild,
damn.
man.
Like I gotta start wearing headgear with my kids. They're rough.
For real. No, man. So let's wrap up. A couple people to thank here. Definitely Devin once again for hooking this up. Thank you to Chordale for coming down here. CV, thank you for all the work behind the scenes. Michael the Show Pirelli.
My guy.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna forget about
We
me. I'm like, right
we
here.
can't do it. Can't do it without
I'm
you.
right here.
So we look forward, just to your journey and continuing to watch you grow. We wish you the best.
Yeah.
Michael, you got anything before we close out?
I feel embarrassed I haven't followed your career from the beginning. I love following this stuff, and I wasn't really aware of it until recently. So I'm pumped to catch up, watch all the fights, shoot you some texts. Hey, carry that left arm up a little higher, whatever. Give you terrible advice. And then I'd love to go to a fight when your next fight is. So
Let's
Are
do
you
are you
it.
doing a local? You're trying to do a local?
I want to. I
Yeah.
want to do more here.
Yeah.
I want to do more in Connecticut. I want to
Nice.
make sure I have a good presence
Build
here
that
in
base.
Connecticut. Not only just in these different like New York. I want to
So ideally, where would the next fight be? Mohegan?
hopefully.
You know we
Or
enjoy Mohegan
Foxwoods.
Sun. the
Or
two of us.
Foxwoods. I heard Foxwoods was trying to
Foxwoods
get
good.
a show going.
Yeah.
So hopefully Foxwoods.
Nice.
But anything here in Connecticut, I'm for.
Yeah. Do it up. Get the
Beautiful.
bus straight from Sanford straight to Foxwood. You
Yeah.
line it up.
Oh, that'll be a good event.
We got ideas over here.
Oh, yeah, we do. Guys, so thank you. Whether you've listened to 1 or 148, we like to say thank you, guys. Again, a very special thank you to Chordale for coming out. Guys, share this show because when you do that, obviously word of mouth is the biggest platform that anybody can have. So not only for the podcast, but also for Chordale and his journey going forward. And as always, until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up and get after it.
My man. All right, let's go to the ring.
Maybe some
You
jump
got 30 seconds.
I don't think I didn't think I could run away from it. That was like big.
That's another Effie in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze.